Good evening, friends, and welcome to a very critical session. And this is with regards to a person called Matthew Van Dyke. And Matthew Van Dyke, he has been arrested by the NIA in India, and this is following the major headlines in India, and he's in custody of NIA following a high stakes counter-terrorism operation. Some say he's not just a filmmaker or activist. He's being treated as a high-level security threat, and he was intercepted at the Kolkata airport on March 12th en route to Dubai and then Poland. Now, the NIA claims that VanDyke and his team were there not to film but to provide tactical military support, training rebels. That is, they allegedly conducted pre-scheduled training for ethnic armed groups in Myanmar who are fighting the junta, drone warfare. They are accused of training these groups in drone assembly, deployment, and jamming technology. And the national security threat, the Indian government's core concern is that these trained groups in Myanmar have links to Indian insurgent groups in the northeast, and providing them with advanced drone capabilities is seen as a direct threat to India's internal security. And also, he has partaken in other wars in Libya in 2011. He fought with the rebels against Gaddafi. He was captured and spent 6 months in solitary confinement. He was in Syria. He claimed to be a filmmaker. And then in Ukraine, he founded the Sons of Liberty International, a non-profit military contracting firm that trains groups to fight authoritarian regimes. In Venezuela in 2025, he recently claimed on social media to have been running cohort operations and Venezuelan rebels to topple Maduro. So this is a very serious threat for India, isn't it? A national security threat.
Yeah, Jaydev, firstly, good evening, and thank you so much for inviting me for your very esteemed and prestigious channel. As regards the issue which you have raised, it's definitely, without any doubt, extremely alarming and dangerous because this man details will start unfolding gradually. But the fact that he had some role to play in a country like Venezuela in removal of Maduro, then he had some role, be it filmmaking or otherwise, in Syria and particularly Libya. Libya actually is very, very important from the perspective of how the civilian unrest, it was generated by the CIA modules, and how the army, Libyan army, came together and fought against the government, and how Gaddafi finally was executed. I only hope that because you see, one has to be very, very cautious and careful. And he may be the only American guy caught so far. You are saying from West Bengal. There are other people who have been apprehended or caught by police at New Delhi. Some have been caught at Lucknow, and some may not have been caught. They are like sleeper cells. They are floating around in the country itself. So there is a bigger nexus, it appears, because yesterday I was in the TV channel, people kept on asking. So I was trying to join the dots. I don't have anything concrete. You see, now one has to understand that this, what I called as a devil's triangle, China, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Okay, so since America wants China to be pushed back in the region, in the subcontinent, particularly towards Bangladesh side and also Pakistan side, therefore, it would be safe to say that ISI is hand in gloves with CIA, and everything ISI does has got a direct or indirect bearing. Somewhere, some kind of intertwined activities are taking place. So, what are these activities which ISI would be doing? Maybe in consultation or in support of the agencies of China, but since they are expert in double game, they play the double game beautifully. They may be parting with some kind of a support or assistance given to the CIA. So what is it? So take your mind back to not too far away. 5th of August 2019, after the abrogation of Article 370 and 35A, the Foreign Minister of Pakistan had air dashed China on 9th, 10th, 11th of August 2019. And during his very intense collaboration and meetings with very important senior officials, they formulated a counter strategy against India. In that counter strategy, one of the issue which did not come out in the public was to revival of the proxy war south of Pir Panjal range, and that proxy war managed to find its way into the valley floor, and also the extended standoff. Their basic aim was to keep the extended standoff so that Indian army does not have adequate troops to carry out any kind of activities which may be inimical to China's requirement. They apprehensive that we may go in to capture Gilgit Baltistan, through which the CPEC is passing. The CPEC may be rendered ineffective because they have invested a large sum of money. They have taken it on lease from Pakistan. Which one? The Gwadar I am talking of, Gwadar base. So under these circumstances, uh, they did this, and on 19th of June 2025, they had a meeting at Kunming on the sideline of a big event. In the meeting, they had foreign officials of Bangladesh, Pakistan, and China, and they kept calling it as a economic collaboration. Now, I don't see what economy will two countries, Bangladesh and Pakistan, have when the the army hardware which they're buying from China ranges between 80 to 83%. Okay, so because since it is a secure, so these are the kind of issues. Then you have issues. We all know what Yunus has done to Bangladesh during his time, and the biggest factor of victim is the trust between two countries. So if you join all these dots and the developments which have taken place in Bangladesh, plus the activities which are undergoing in Myanmar, and there is a clash of interest. USA is trying to push back China as much as possible, both in Bangladesh as also Myanmar. You never know. This man may have been planted in the garb of imparting training, drone, how to assemble drone, how to launch them, how to jam them. Okay, minor faults here and there. He may be an expert in doing that and training the people. But he may be having some kind of a hidden agenda, because why should people be caught in a place like Delhi, the capital, Lucknow? Lucknow is the capital of UP, and the UP chief minister is coming down heavily on all gang warfare and all criminals. So he's trying to bring law and order and make the state, stable, and bring back some kind of you know, a progressive roadmap of economic development, socio-economic development for the people. So I see, and West Bengal, because the elections are around the corner. So each of these, and New Delhi is the capital, where you had a bomb blast on 10th of December 2025. So such like issues, they actually, trigger, they ignite small sparks in the mind. And our intelligence agency would be doing an extremely, I would say, great job, keeping all these people in the run and trying and finding out there may be a bigger nexus which is actually spread all over India to destabilize India, to balkanize India. But it will not be that easy to balkanize India. It is easy to talk and write papers, but it's not that easy. So, therefore, to say that whatever his name, White K, you said, White K,
Yeah, Matthew VanDyke.
right, okay, Matthew. Matthew, his credentials need to be checked up as to what all he was involved in Venezuela, what all he has done in Syria, what all he has done in Libya. We need to find out the details. And where all is he connected? His email communication, WhatsApp messages, these things have to be verified and checked. Only then we will be able to come to some kind of a conclusion. We need to actually look at all these issues with suspicion, and the investigation must be carried out by NIA until we come to a very substantive takeaway from the investigation. Otherwise, we may be falling into a trap, or this chap may get away scot free. So, therefore, India has to take it seriously and carry out a very deliberate and serious investigation before coming to a conclusion and disposing of the case.
Yeah, also Sudhakar ji, with regards to Prime Minister Modi's safety also has to be, taken into consideration, isn't it? When all these kinds of forces are working against India.
Honestly speaking, I didn't want to talk about this because this is too sensitive. I have been getting inputs to that effect. In absence of any meaningful and concrete evidence to say that there is a conspiracy like this, well, since you have raised the topic, let me comment on it. Anything is possible. USA is simply not comfortable with the stability which our present political dispensation is able to provide and take the country on a progressive roadmap of growth, economic growth. And even the military might, everything is taking a quantum jump. It is not going down too well, whether it is China or with USA. They don't like our usage of the word autonomy, strategic autonomy. The moment we say this, they start having high fever and viral those kind of problems. Did you hear what? If you join the dots, the Deputy Secretary of State Department of USA in the Raisina dialogue, which was held a couple of days back, what did he have to say? He said one simple statement: USA will never allow India to grow, or words to that effect. Indirectly he conveyed that they don't want to make India a second China, which will be a big threat to the existence of the superpower or the sustenance of the superpower. He made it very clear that day. And thereafter, we have been hearing, and before that also, whether it is tariff or any other thing, look at the aerospace engine. It is almost 2 years plus now. They had promised to give us 404, 414G engine, but how many of them have come? We are behind schedule. We are now looking around for alternate options. There are tall promises, there are big agreements, okay, and is the torpedoing this particular vessel, Iranian vessel, south of Sri Lanka, 40 kilometers away from the coastline, that did not actually reflect too well. To me, my take is that it was basically done to put down India in a low image. They were trying to hit below the belt. This is not on. It may not be in our exclusive economic zone. It was in the exclusive economic zone of Sri Lanka, but it happened in Indian Ocean. IOR and IOR supposed to be the domain of India. We should have the surveillance capability. Unfortunately, we didn't have, nor did we dominate the area, nor did we suspect that such a thing could be possible. See, there are too many things which are happening, which are widening the gap and also leading to suspicion, lack of trust between India and US. So, whichever direction they choose, they are welcome. India is going to find its path, and I'm very confident, very sure, despite all the challenges, we'll get going ahead. And the pointed question which you asked, I personally feel that the security of our Prime Minister should be strengthened. Layers of protection must be provided. We must have surveillance by different means as to who all people are contacting, email, social media connections, and uh, his life may be in danger. This is what I was trying to refrain from saying because I don't have any evidence. I'm only trying to join the dots. And this guy who's been caught, Matthew, he seems to be a man Friday in such kind of operations. You remember in Bangladesh, one character from, I think, CIA, he was
Yeah,
busted, in a hotel. You remember? And
Terence
nothing.
Jackson.
Yeah, and they
Terence,
quite quietly removed the body. There was no news, no rebuttal, no clarification by the USA Army or the Marines or the special forces who were operating there. No clarification was given. It is only the Indian intelligences, I think, they have joined the dots and they said perhaps they were planning for something bigger. So all these things have to be put together. And the elections, we need to join the dots of there is an election in West Bengal in the month of March and April. Okay, and we know there are three states going in for elections. Elections are important, but the election environment in India is not like any other country. It is like a festivity, it is like a celebration. People participate in the democracy with a lot of enthusiasm and fervor. That may be taken as the weakest link or a kind of a fault line. People may take advantage. The United Front Works Department becomes hyperactive. The United Front Works Department is of China. Their basic job is to penetrate into the minds of people who are leading influencer, be it the opposition party or ruling party. Okay. And they would like to manipulate their mind. Number one. Number two, media manipulation by penetrating into the media houses. The media automatically will come to a stage, they will start printing and building such kind of narrative, taking out articles and editorials in such a way that it will be always painting all good works of India in bad light. They will be penetrating into the legislatures, to the executives, to judiciary. By and by, they want to make these outfits unfit and ineffective in India. All the four pillars of democracy are going to be affected, be it the legislature, be it the executive, be it the judiciary, or be it the media. All the four. Now that the technology thing has come, wherever you have centers of excellence or the places where the semiconductor industries are coming up, automobile industries are coming up, or the space industry is booming, okay, they will definitely penetrate and do carry out sabotage activities. So NIA that way is doing a great job, and we must cooperate. The public must actually reach out if they get anything untoward. We should always report to the security agencies so that the nation is better prepared. Otherwise, everything must be taken with a pinch of salt. Don't take it for granted that nothing is happening. People from
Yeah,
Ukraine, there are big things which are being planned, for all you know, and we have to be ready for that.
yeah. Also, if you remember that Putin, sat with Prime Minister Modi in his car during the Shanghai Cooperation Summit in China for a long time.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's true. That's very, very true. These people are planning to do something on 6th of December. 6th of December is actually the anniversary day of Babri Masjid. They wanted to coincide Putin's visit to India, Babri Masjid, all put together. They wanted to carry out a serial blast, a multi-city serial blast in India at a particular given time on a given day. So as to welcome Putin. Thank God, our the policeman in Jammu and Kashmir Valley, he spotted some poster and the bell started ringing. You see, the Operation Sindoor, besides hammering Pakistan nice and properly, has put the whole nation in a proactive mode. People have started, this is called critical thinking. Security is not all about seeing in your own eyes and reporting, rushing to the police station. Critical thinking, asking questions. Security lies there. Any podcast or anything coming to you, any morning post or anything coming, before you circulate, you check is it correct? There are means and methods to check. I can't explain. I am a non technical guy, but I keep reading that there are means and methods to check. Do not, there are deep fakes taking place, and there are, the head of a person is being changed, other parts are being actually, such kind of narrative and storylines are being sold, which will actually malign the picture and the image of a person. So one has to guard against such kind of practices and be very careful when you are circulating any detail or any post coming to you.